Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking about something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I just never got around to doing it. We're going to be talking about the Savitar prediction scene in episode 9 of The Flash, titled The Present. Now I know I'm a little bit late with this theory since that specific episode came out like a month ago, but new information in the most recent episode, Borrowing Problems from the Future, leads me to believe that the show revealed exactly who Savitar was referring to in his predictions. Just for reference, and so we're all on the same page, here's the prediction Savitar made earlier in the season.
One shall betray you. One shall fall. One will suffer a fate far worse than death. This is the knowledge I have for you about your everlasting damnation.
Alright, we all good? Let's break it down. First off, one shall betray you. Who's that gonna be? I know some people think it's gonna be HR, which isn't necessarily a bad theory. I mean, we really don't know all that much about him, so it's entirely possible he could turn out to be the bad guy. That having been said, I am gonna say no to this one, if only because we've already seen the whole Harrison Wells betrays the team thing play out a couple different times, and I'm pretty sure the CW wouldn't repeat themselves like that. There's other theories about this too that point to Caitlin, since the show keeps dropping the Killer Frost hints, but I still gotta say no to that too. Her being a supervillain is something I'm going to talk about at the end of this video, but her betraying the team doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it's just way too obvious. Me personally, I think the betrayer is actually going to turn out to be Wally. Why? Because of how manipulative Savitar is. Before Wally got his powers through touching the Philosopher's Stone, we saw Savitar offering to make him whole or set him free.
The time has come to set you free. Find me, and I will release you from all of this. I can make you whole again.
Very suggestive language. Almost like he's being indoctrinated into something, right? And on top of that, Savitar has a history of giving powers to other people and convincing them to swear loyalty to him, turning them into villains. It's not hard to imagine the CW trying to go for like a shocking twist or something like that by having Wally, after all this time spent building up his reputation as Kid Flash, training with Barry and HR, eventually becoming a bad guy and trying to hurt either Barry or even his sister Iris due to the influence of Savitar. Alright, next up, one shall fall. I know we saw Iris die when Barry traveled to the future, so it definitely looks like she's the one this part of the prediction's referring to, but that to me screams red herring here. There's just no way the CW is going to let Iris be killed off, especially since it would definitely drive Barry to want to time travel again and fix his problems, and we know that won't happen since we already saw it with Flashpoint. No, for me, there's really no other option here. It has to be Julian, right? That's such a weird one, but no, it definitely makes sense. Hear me out on this. I mean, look, Savitar never specifically mentions anyone in particular during his predictions, so the whole one shall fall thing could definitely be about Julian, right? In Borrowing Problems from the Future, we saw what looks like the start of a relationship between Julian and Caitlin, and as we all know, every love interest for Caitlin ends up dying, which is also something I'll talk about in a little bit, which doesn't exactly bode well for Julian. There's also the real world fact that Tom Felton, who plays Julian in the show, most likely won't stick around for another season due to pay reasons. I mean, I don't know exactly how much he's getting paid to be on The Flash, but I think whatever it is, it's a pretty decent sized pay cut compared to what he usually gets. And finally, one shall suffer a fate far worse than death. This is probably the most interesting point in Savitar's predictions because of how dire the wording is. What kind of fate are we talking about, and who's supposed to suffer? Well, think about it. What's the one thing everybody's been actively trying to avoid in almost every single episode we've seen in this season so far? Caitlin turning into the supervillain Killer Frost. Look, we all know she'll definitely turn into Killer Frost. I mean, that's painfully obvious. Even all the way back in season 1, there's been tons of hints and references scattered around teasing her eventual transformation, and now that she has her powers, we're starting to see her lose control and have problems keeping the Killer Frost personality away. Plus, we've gotten proof twice now that she will be Killer Frost in the future, like in episode 6 titled Shade, when Cisco touched Caitlin's hand and vibed himself fighting Killer Frost at some point in the future, or in Borrowing Problems from the Future, when Cisco and Barry vibed themselves back to the possible future Barry visited, and noticed that one of the news headlines reads Killer Frost still at large.
Killer.
What does it say?
Killer Frost still at large.
No matter what, it seems like Killer Frost is an absolute certainty, and that no amount of changing the future will keep that from happening. But why does it happen though? Well, remember what I said about love interests for Caitlin have a habit of ending up dead? I'm guessing there's going to be a point where Julian gets kidnapped or puts himself in a dangerous situation or something like that, and Barry can't or won't be able to save him, giving Caitlin the motivation she needs to be Killer Frost and the drive to want to kill the Flash, even if they had a history of being friends. So there you go. Those are my theories for who Savitar was talking about in his predictions. I'm hoping we'll get some more evidence for any of it sooner rather than later, but who knows. If you have a different theory or you agree with mine, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And speaking of comments, don't forget that I am still having a giveaway going on till the end of the month. I'm giving away a year's worth of PS Plus or Xbox Live depending on what the winner has. All you gotta do to enter is be a subscriber, like any of my videos, and leave a comment on any of my videos that includes your Twitter handle. Alright, I will see you guys next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.